When God blesses you, He adds no sorrow to it, because our God blesses without fine print. Offer applies to items of equal or lesser value, while supplies last. Popular models and brands excluded. Some limitations and restrictions apply. Actual size may vary. See store for details. All of that mumbo jumbo is what is known as the fine print. And it's the most important print of all on any legally binding contract or agreement of any kind. Because the fine print is where all the caveats and clauses and contingencies live. It's where all the terms and conditions like to hide. It's where all the waivers and disclaimers lurk. It's where all the strings get attached, where all the sleight of hand just kind of gets slipped in, and where all the catches go uncaught, and where all the provisos and quid pro quos all go unnoticed. Like when they tell you something is free. Well, the fine print is where you find out later that what they really meant is that the R was silent. The fine print is where we get hoodwinked, bamboozled, conned, scammed, duped, tricked, and trapped. It's like the old song says, everybody plays the fool. Sometimes. I mean, be honest. How many times have you just clicked to accept the terms and conditions of something online without actually reading their million-word agreement first? So yeah, the fine print is where most of us get got. Because as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. As the saying goes, if a deal seems too good to be true, then it probably is. As the saying goes, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So if it seems like you're getting something for nothing, you usually never are. Because everything seems to have catches and cost in this life. Everything seems to have sour mixed in with its sweet. Everything seems to have pain mixed in with its gain. Everything seems to have a price attached to its prize. Everything seems to take from you while it gives to you, subtracts while it adds, and divides while it promises to multiply. Unfortunately, everything that seems to be all rosy at first always seems to have its thorns. And therefore, just about everything deserves to be second-guessed. Just about everything has to be checked and double-checked. Just about everything needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Just about everything needs to be scrutinized and analyzed before you sign on the bottom line. Because just about everything is never quite what it seems. Everything, that is, except God. When God covenants with you, when God promises you, when God blesses you, He does not also play games with you. For with Him, what you see is what you get. When God blesses, He blesses without fine print. James 1:17 says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He is who He is. Period. He does not change. Period. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Period. His gifts are good. His gifts are perfect. Period. He is not the source of the bad in your life, but the working of the bad for your good is all Him. Romans 8:28 famously says, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. He's good and good to us, period. He works for our good and purposes for our good, period. He is for you and not against you. Period. Case closed. End of discussion. Nothing else to add. No ifs, ands, or buts. No extra terms and conditions. No catches, no strings, no fine print. No hidden fees. No, God sets us free for free. For on the cross, Jesus covered the cost. Yes, Jesus paid it all. Period. So in return, He's worthy of our worship. Period. He's worthy of our gratitude. Period. He's worthy of our adoration. Period. All the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. He deserves it. Period. There should be no terms and conditions in your worship. Psalm 34:1 says, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Now, I didn't see any exception clauses in that. All times means in the good times and the bad. For if He never did another thing for you, He's already done enough for you to open your mouth and say thank you on a regular basis. Yes, He's really been that good. Period. So don't go and get amnesia on Him now. You ought to be able to look back over your life and think things over. You ought to truly be able to say that you've been blessed and that you've got a testimony. You ought to be able to turn around and praise the God from whom all blessings flow. The God who blesses without added stresses, the God who blesses without added messes, the God who blesses without added catches, the God who blesses without fine print, as we see in our text. Here in the 22nd verse of the 10th chapter of Proverbs, King Solomon writes, the blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and He adds no sorrow with it. There are many things that you can do in this life that will indeed make you rich, but they are not without added sorrow. Like you can win the lottery. Lottery winners are very wealthy, but it comes with the added sorrow of a skyscraper high tax bracket. The added sorrow of them 800 new cousins that you didn't even know you had that all want something from you. The added sorrow of the fact that 70% of lottery winners eventually go bankrupt. Professional sports players are very wealthy, but them big contracts and shoe deals come with the added sorrow of a sea of spectator haters and armchair quarterbacks constantly criticizing your every word, move, pitch, pass, shot, or kick. The added sorrow of whole networks on TV and radio stations devoted to pointing out all of your flaws. The added sorrow of bodies that are often just racked with pain for the rest of their lives from so many years of injuries and surgeries. Actors and big-time movie stars are very wealthy, but it comes with the added sorrow of no privacy ever, and the paparazzi and TMZ following you everywhere you go. The added sorrow that all of your mistakes are all public knowledge, and everybody and their grandmama gonna be all up in your business. The added sorrow of just the spotlight itself. Why do you think they call it the trappings of fame? CEOs and top executives make tons of money, but it comes with the added sorrow of zero, zip, zilch, nada, absolutely no work-life balance whatsoever. The added sorrow of becoming a complete stranger to your own family, missing all of your kids' events, working on the weekend and working on vacation. The added sorrow that you are going to get the blame for everything that happens in your company the added sorrow that heavy is the head that wears the crown. But there are plenty of everyday jobs out there too that you can make good money doing and yet be miserable every single day at the same time. It's like that meme says, I wake up every morning and quit my job, then I get ready for work. You know those kind of jobs where every time your alarm clock goes off, you're just laying there thinking there's got to be a better way. Yes, there are many things that can make you wealthy that will also cost you your mental health and your peace of mind. Many things that can make you rich while simultaneously making your quality of life poor. That's why so many people eventually get to the point of saying that money isn't everything. The world's kind of blessings so often come with much added sorrow. Worldly treasures far too often come with little hidden gotchas, little hidden headaches, and little hidden heartaches attached. It's just like P. Diddy said back in the day, more money, more problems. So in verse 22, Solomon is basically drawing a contrast with how the world blesses in comparison to what God does. God blesses without added sorrow. God blesses without fine print. The Apostle Paul says in Romans 11:29, for the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. So with God, there is no gotcha fine print. God gives blessings without repossessing. God gives blessings without distressing. God gives blessings without depressing. Blessings without oppressing. Blessings without suppressing. Blessings without regressing. Blessings without lessening your life. God gives blessings without stressing you out. The kind of blessings that need no second guessing, for our God blesses without fine print. Thanks for watching.
And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube.